What's up, everybody? It's Taylor Twellman from Major League Soccer and Apple TV. We are a few days away from the MLS All Star Game, where Major League Soccer and Liga MX will kick off a 4-week stretch where both leagues will compete for the second League's Cup. The All Star Game will showcase both leagues and their strong depth of talent. That will be in Columbus, Ohio. But before we even get there, I want to take a look around Major League Soccer and a few things that have caught my attention. Twellman's takes, if you will. It's always been the case that Major League Soccer will grow, and has grown, at their pace and at their will, and not overly influenced by those on the outside. And up to this point in time, it's worked. Over 24 soccer stadiums in this country. Expansion to cities like Charlotte, Cincy, Austin, Nashville, St. Louis, and soon to be San Diego. And you couple those two with the fact that you've got a landmark media deal with Apple TV to take your league global. But the hunger and the desire from those on the outside to be the best league in North America is there, and it's grown especially since the introduction of Messi and friends in Miami. But in the biggest games, their counterparts in Mexico, they still have an upper hand, mainly because of their depth in the rosters, and that is why you've seen a step forward into closing that gap. This week, Major League Soccer has announced more roster flexibility in order to build deeper rosters of the better talent, and they've given their franchises two options. They can stay with the current system, sign 3 DPs, 3 U22 players, where their cap hits and salaries are done differently than the rest of the roster, or you can sign 2 DPs, 4 U22 players, and have $2 million in general allocation money, which is then used to sign and buy down salaries of other players to create depth. Now, Major League Soccer is ready, and they are at the precipice of allowing more freedom, more diversity of thought when it comes to building rosters. They're also ready to compete with Liga MX on a much higher level. Is this a step in the right direction, you ask? Yes, absolutely. But the question still remains, and it needs to be answered. Are the teams south of the border nervous yet? And I'm not sure this gets them there yet. A big step, however, in the right direction is now this, but also when you transfer players from your club to another club in the world, it gives you more money to spend. Currently, right now in 2024, you could only add up to $1.2 million in allocation money. Now, $3 million. Atlanta United just did $50 million worth of sales, and that is an MLS record in one transfer window. I'd argue they should be able to at least spend up to $35 million of that how they please. Someday, MLS is going to get there. I promise you that. What were you doing when you were 14 years old? I think I just bought my first stick of deodorant and called my first girlfriend. I'm not really kidding. But I will tell you one thing I was not doing. That was making my professional debut. Cavan Sullivan just made history, becoming the youngest in professional sports in North America. And he did it with his brother on the field for the Philadelphia Union. I would have done anything to have played with my brother at any age, let alone 14. What a moment for him and his family. A great example of the MLS pathway. Academy, MLS Next Pro, then MLS. And we haven't even gotten to the point that Manchester City called this player the best 14-year-old in the world. And they signed him. And they'll wait for him, working very closely with the Philadelphia Union on his development until he turns 18. And I don't want to be a wet blanket in the moment, but I do think we all need a friendly reminder of not putting the cart before the horse. Remember Freddie Adu? Remember Breck Shea? Juan Agudelo? So many names very quickly in our league and in our country we wanted to deem the next best thing. But we didn't let them grow. We didn't let them make mistakes. Now, Sullivan looked completely comfortable in the moment and in the blowout win against the New England Revolution. And all of us need to remember, while watching that, what were we doing at 14, 15, 16? I am a huge proponent of if you're good enough, you play. Look at what Spain did with Lamal. 17 years old in the European Championships. But the point is this, Sullivan is only going to be the best that he can be when we give him space and allow him to grow, which means adversity, failure, and success. It's amazing to think 19 years ago, Columbus hosted this event, the MLS All Star Game, that transformed the league and showed where it wanted to go. And I'm not talking about the blonde hair, square peg, and a round hole. That was MVP. No, it was the foresight that MLS should play an exhibition against a foreign team from a foreign league. That year in 2005, it was Fulham, with two Americans, Brian McBride, Carlos Bocanegra. In the old Crew Stadium, the All-Star Game was played in the middle of the afternoon. Now, thanks to Apple TV, under the lights, where you can see this league globally in 107 countries, in the most beautiful stadium you'll ever see, thanks to the Haslams and the Edwards and their training facility and their roster. Now the whole world's going to see what this league is about. Because this league, 19 years ago, is not the league you're watching now. That MLS All Star Game will be Wednesday night on Apple TV and MLS Season Pass. And then immediately Friday, July 26th, Leagues Cup kicks off, where Inter Miami defend their title. Now, they don't play till July 27th, but Atlanta and DC United will kick off that tournament. Remember, every Leagues Cup game you can watch on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV, and at the moment, you can get that for 50% off for the rest of the season. Also this week on Offside on Apple Podcasts, we at Apple, bunch of us, will talk about mid-season. Where should they go with transfers? And who's the favorite to win the Supporter Shield?